So if at any point you want to interrupt me, just feel free to interrupt me and ask a question or anything like that.
Okay.
So this is the guide that was sent out. And I'm going to go over the guide and then I'm going to go into the portal and show you lifetime action examples. So this this guide is 12 pages. I tried to make it not too many pages so you guys didn't have a ton of stuff to sort through, but I also wanted to make sure I wasn't cramming too much information into each page. Each one of these table of contents is clickable, so you can click it and it'll take you to that subject. So you don't have to just scroll through everything. So the manage my teams is there, the check my participants and role status, the resources and one pagers, all of that. And then the managing the Excel file, which is just one slide. And that's kind of a quick one to go over. But anyway, so to get started, we are asking that everybody is clear through November 9th. We want, if anything expires before November 9th, we want them to renew it. This one covers the intent to participate was already due. Hopefully that was turned in already. This week through August 15th is when our programs are going to be managing their My Teams. And that's how they're going to be building their roster. Those My Teams, we call them groups, teams. Those teams were populated based on participation last year. So names are in there based on who we were told were participating in 2024. You can remove anybody who's not participating this year, and you can add anybody who is participating this year. If the participants are already in your participants list, it's very quick and easy to add them. If they are not already in your list, there is a way to use a lookup tool to find an existing profile and add them to your participants list, or you can reach out to portal support and we can add them to your list as well. After 8:15, we're going to lock your teams so you can't make any changes. That is going to be basically your final list of participants. And then we are going to send you back an Excel roster for your competition information, which is what we've done in the past seasons. It'll have room for events and like the individual teams and the scores. We're going to send that back to you for you to input that information. And you will also have to confirm your volunteer roles like coaches, head coach, assistant coach, chaperone, all of that. And then you will submit those Excel sheets, Excel rosters to our Smartsheets portal like you always have done. And those deadlines will be determined based on your competition date, and they are finalizing those. They're currently trying to finalize those. So we'll know when those scores are going to be due for you, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Okay. So their coach zone has these icons. There's manage my participants, manage my teams, your sent invitations, my invitations, and then contact Special Olympics. This contact Special Olympics is not your direct line to us. If you want to contact us, you'll want to use this portal support intake link down here at the bottom of the slide. In your participants, you'll be able to see your lists of athletes, unified partners, and volunteers. That's coaches, chaperones, all of that. You can see their roles that they have applied for and if their roles are active or pending. If you have an athlete or a unified partner that does not have a profile yet, and you can confirm they don't have a profile yet, you are able to create a profile for them, but we are asking that you ask, like, are you going to have a parent manage your profile? Are you going to manage your own profile? Are you going to have a case manager or a group home manage your profile? Because if you create something for them and then they also are going to go in and create another profile, you could end up with a duplicate profile. So if they're not going to have anybody else manage it for them, or they're not going to log in on their own, go ahead and create the profile. Otherwise, ask them to create it and then you can add them later. The manage my teams, that's basically where your rosters are. And you'll be able to add and remove participants. And In the future, you will also be able to create your own team for your own organization. Like if you want to have bowling team A, bowling team B, you'll be able to create those yourself in the future. The My Sent invitations, that is part of the lookup tool now, where you can look up existing participants and say, hey, I want access to your profile. So if you have Susie Cream Cheese who says, I have a profile already, you can go in and invite her to your profile. She can then go in and say, yes, I approve this coach to have access to my profile, and they'll appear, and Susie's profile will appear in your participants list. You are welcome to use that tool as much as you want. You are also welcome to not use that tool as much as you want. And if you'd rather just submit a support intake and say, hey, can you please add Susie Cream Cheese, date of birth 1101, she's an athlete, we'll go ahead and add her to your list for you. Either option is fine. If you do add them yourself, and once they've accepted, we are highlighting, like, please make sure you go in and make sure that you have requested the right person. Because if there's two Josh Smiths and they're both 24 years old, you might add the wrong one, and then you might think they're clear, or, you know, you might have the wrong contact information for them. You just want to make sure you've got the right person in your list. All right. So in My Teams, you will see a list of your teams and delegations. There will always be the overarching main parent team, is what we call it, a parent group, a parent team. So it would be Moses Lake Scorpions. And then there would also be Moses Lake Scorpions bowling and soccer. So there's going to be the main program that should have all of your participants, and then the sports specific ones. I did a giant import of names, and I don't think all of the parent groups got all of the correct, like all of the names. So if you ever want to go in and say, I'm going to add all my people to my main program, you can do that. But for now, we're just working on our sports specific groups, because that's going to be your sports specific roster. The portal does load a little slow. So that's why once you click into it, it might be a little slow. So just let it load. When you're in your teams, in your sports specific team, you're going to see a list of people, and you can sort these. You can search and you can sort. You can sort by name. It goes first and last. You can sort by role, profile status, their health history, and their expiration date. The health history and expiration date is only for athletes at this time. And so for unified partners, coaches, chaperones, admin, you won't be able to see any of those. The profile status means that their profile information is complete. Their name, phone number, email address, emergency contact. If they're a minor, they also have a parent guardian. If you see someone that's showing as profile status incomplete, it just means something in their profile is missing. We are not scratching people for having an incomplete profile. Athletes, if they do not have contact information or an emergency contact, and they submit a new health history form, we will not approve it until their profile has that information in it. We will remind them to update that information. But we're not checking profile statuses for participation. You will see a few different roles in your teams. The admin role are the people that should have been on your intent to participate, and they should also have access to all of your participants. There's athlete and unified partner, there's coach and chaperone, and then you will also see right now people who are showing as no role. If you see someone showing as no role, please reach out to us with their name and what role they should be in that sport, and we will update it for you on our end. There's a tiny bug in the system and you can't change their role, but if you are adding Phaedra Hansen, or if you want to add Phaedra Hansen because she's a coach, but she's showing up as no role, if we change her setting on our end, she'll show up as coach and you'll be able to see pending or active. So you'll know Phaedra Hansen is active as a coach, or she's pending as a coach. She needs to finish her checklist items. And then the role status is active, pending, or NA. If they're active, all their checklist items are complete. If they're pending, something needs to be completed still. And NA, you will typically see NA for admin because they have many roles, or for someone who is no role, meaning we just need to update what role they are. If you see anybody who is showing like coach NA or chaperone NA, you may want to check them in your participants list because you may be able to see if they're active or pending, but you can also reach out to us and say, hey, this isn't looking right, and we can look into it. For the health histories, you'll see a lot of different statuses approved. If it's going to expire soon, it'll say expiring in number of days. Incomplete, it needs to be completed. NA is typically for non-athlete roles. Not started, it just hasn't been started. The pending additional forms, that typically means that they selected that they do not consent to a medical care in the event of an emergency. And we have reached out to them to say, do you actually not consent to this? If so, if you don't consent, fill out these medical care refusal forms and send them back to us. Or we say, do you actually consent to medical care? We'll reset the form and they can fix it. And then there's awaiting signature, which means somehow it got submitted and it wasn't signed. So those are two kind of things that you could also say, like, hey, athlete, your form was submitted, but it needs to be signed. Or, hey, you're pending additional forms. Did you get an email asking if you consent to medical care or whatever? It kind of gives you a little extra insight as to what their status is. And then the expiration date, it should show when the form expires. There was a bug this week that's only showing everybody as NA. There's no expiration date. And so once that bug is fixed, you should see the expiration date, but you might see NA for the time being. When you're in your teams, if you want to add a participant, you scroll down to the bottom, you click add a new participant, and then you'll be able to click this drop down, choose a participant, and anybody in your participant list, you'll be able to add. They'll be alphabetical by first name. And then you do have to select the role of the participant. And there's a little guide right here. Athletes and Unified Partners, they have a member role. Coaches, they have a lead role. Chaperones, they have a chaperone role. And admin, you likely won't be using the admin role, but if you have somebody who you do want to have access to your participants list, you can put them in there as admin and then shoot us an email and we'll make sure their profile is updated so they have access. They won't have access to the participants list until we make a change on our end, giving them that permission. And coaches, if they're a lead, they will be able to remove and add people from that team. So you're welcome to put them in as a chaperone if you don't want them to make changes, or you can put them in as a lead. They'll show up as coach so you can see their role and their status, but you can tell them like, hey, don't make any changes. That's my job. Unless you want them to make changes, then they can. If you want to remove somebody, they're not participating or they're not clear and you don't want them on the list until they are clear, you just have to go to their name, click this little drop down and click remove. You are able to search people in your team. So if you know the person's name, you can just search for them directly. That way you know if they're in there or not. When you're in my teams and you're looking for clearances, if they show up as the correct role, you should be able to see that they're active for that specific role. If they're showing as pending, that tells you they need to fix something. If they're showing up as NA, we likely need to fix that role. And then you won't see a health history or an expiration date for non-athletes. If any of that looks weird or inconsistent or is not giving you the information you want, feel free to reach out to Portal Support. Now, in my participants, this is how you'll see someone's clearances, and you'll be able to look at some forms for athletes and Unified Partners. When you're in my participants list, you can search by person's name, and there also are some show more filters, and I have played with that a little bit. Some of the coaches have played with that a little bit. I'll show you when we're actually in the coach zone. There's different filters you can put in there that can kind of help you see who you need to reach out to or who may need some follow-up. But for athletes, you can click this little caret drop down to the left of their name, and you can see their athlete role. If it's pending, they need something, they need to do something. If it's active, it's approved. But if it was showing up correctly, you'd be able to see their expiration date. Some of them you might see NA. If you click into their checklist, however, you will be able to see their expiration date and click into the form. And if it's been renewed since November of 2024, you should be able to download that form and have it on file as well. If you click into the checklist, you click into the form and you scroll down and there's nothing there to be downloaded, that's when you would probably recommend them to renew. And that's just for your own access. It doesn't mean that they're going to be scratched. There is a link here to invite someone to your participants list. It will open up into a new PDF, and it'll show you how to go step by step. And I'll show you how to do that as well in the when I'm doing the live example. For volunteers, you can only see what roles they have applied for, and if they're active or pending. You cannot see expiration dates. You can't see anything other than if they're pending or active. For unified partners, you can go into their checklist and see their forms and their expiration dates. If someone is a unified partner and a coach, or a unified partner and a chaperone, you will be able to see all of their checklist items because that's just the way it's set up right now. So if you have a coach or a chaperone who's only a coach or chaperone, you'll see nothing other than pending or active. But if they have a checklist because they're a unified partner, you'll see it all. And you can see the expiration date. They are working on a couple updates. So privacy-wise, you could maybe see the expiration date, but you wouldn't be able to see their forms. Right now, you'd be able to see their form if you clicked on it. We are recommending people don't look at their forms just to respect their privacy. If these people are showing up as active, especially for volunteers, you want to make sure that they know they need to log in and look and make sure their expiration date is on or after 11/9, because if they expire in September or October, they'll get scratched and there's not a period of time for them to continue to get clear. They'll be scratched and they won't be able to participate. When you're in your teams, you can search people, you can sort, you can do all of that, but you can also export your whole team to an Excel sheet. And that can allow you to filter, sort, remove names, add notes, change columns. You basically do whatever you want. It's kind of like your own little sheet to organize. We know that Excel can be kind of intimidating, so you are welcome to download it and do whatever you want with it if you know how to use it. If you have a volunteer or a parent or someone with your program who is familiar with Excel, you could have them help you. Or you can do none of that and you can just include your Excel sheet when you submit a portal request, a support request, and say, hey, I don't know what to do here. Here's my bowling team. Can you please organize it for me? And we have a very base level of organization that we will do for you. And it'll basically be highlighting the athletes who need to be reached out to for expiration, and then sorting your volunteers and your unified partners so you can at least touch base with them. If they're pending, obviously they need to do something. If they're active, they just need that reminder to check their expiration dates. So don't feel like you have to manage it, but if you do want to manage it through an Excel sheet, we can even get it into a format where we can send it to you so you can print it out and you can actually just write on it instead. That's an easy task for us to do. However you want to manage your list, just let us know what works for you and we'll figure out a way to format it in that way. And then the final slide is a bunch of links. The portal, the registration portal where you will submit your roster, the support, different things that'll help you learn how to do stuff in the portal. And then there is a link to the registration portal here at the bottom of the slide, our SOA resource page, and then our portal intake is down here as well. Any questions before I leave this slide and go to the coach zone? Okay. All right. In the coach zone, fresh, you will see your participants, your manage my teams, your sent invitations. We're going to start in my participants. And it does take load a little slow. I have made comments to COE. Hopefully it'll speed up, but just have patience with it. And here's what the participants look like. You can sort your athletes by first name. You can sort by preferred name. You can sort by age, their profile status, their health history, and their expiration date. And as you can see, most of my expiration dates are showing as NA, not very usable right now. But if you were to go into, let's see, if you were to go into their checklist, you would see that it's completed and the expiration date there. And you could also click this ellipses and click view form and scroll down and download that form for you to have on file. If you scroll down and you don't see that link there, that means they should probably renew. You can also see when you click, oops, I was clicking the wrong thing here. If you click this little caret right here, it'll show that their role and that they're active. If you happen to click that caret and you see more than one athlete role, you can reach out to us. And that means that there's just a duplicate role that we need to clean up for you. No big deal. For coaches and volunteers, right now you can, oh, actually, that reminds me. If you're looking here and you see an athlete that you don't know who they are and you don't think that they participate with you, you can click this little drop down and delete them, and they will leave your participants list so you don't have them on your radar at all. For coaches and volunteers, that option is not there. So if you see a coach or volunteer chaperone that you don't know who they are, you can reach out to us. We can remove them from your list. And for volunteers, you can click this caret and you can see what roles they've applied for and if they're clear, if they're active or pending. If they're showing as pending, they have checklist items that need to be completed. If they're active, they're good to go. Just confirm their expiration dates. For unified partners, same thing. You can sort by name, age, and profile status. They don't have a health history, so those columns are not there. But you can click on this caret and see what roles they've applied for, and you can see that they're active or not. I'm going to go to for a unified partner, you can click into their checklist and you can see that they have a unified partner form on file and when it expires. If they are over the age of 18, they will also have a background check. You can see when that expires as well. For people who have, like I mentioned before, if they are more than just a unified partner, like if they are also a coach or a chaperone, when you click into their checklist, you will see all of their forms. You will see any checklist item that they've completed, and you will see their expiration date as well. This is one of my staff, so they've applied for basically everything, so they have everything in there. But you are able to see expiration dates for more than just their unified partner form if they have more than that role. That's how you'll know if people are clear. And for athletes and unified partners, if they need to renew. You can also export to Excel from here. However, I think there's a tiny bug. If you're trying to export your entire contacts list, it may not work right now, but it will work when you're in your team. Now, let's say you're looking up Susie Cream Cheese and you don't see her. And you're like, hey, she's an athlete. How come I don't see her? If you click add a participant right here, it will pull up this lookup tool basically, and you're inviting someone to have access for you to have access to. There's two things to this. You will have to know which group to add them to. And when you click this little search icon, it'll show all of the teams that you have access to. And so I have access to way more than you guys will, but you should have your overarching parent team, your main team, and then you should have your individual sports teams. If you don't know what sport this person wants to participate with, you can just add them to your main team, and then they'll be there. As soon as they accept the invitation, they'll be in that team and they'll be in your participants list. If you know for sure you want to put them in your bowling team, then put them in your bowling team. Either one is fine. And then for the invitee field, you will click this little icon again. And this basically shows you everyone in our system. You can only see their name and their email and their age, but you can search for someone by first name. Right now, if you were to search an athlete and you were trying to search by email address, if their parent has logged in and said, I receive email on behalf of my athlete, there will not be an email that shows up right now, but that is going to change soon. But you can search by last name, you can search by email address, and you can search first and last name, email address, and you can see any person who has a profile. And then you would select, go back to the page here. You would select them right here. And then you would say they're an athlete, so they'll be a member, or they're a coach, so they'll be a lead, or they're a chaperone, they'll be a chaperone. Now the only thing that's real important with this is you just want to make sure that you're adding the right person. If there's 2 or 3 people with the same name, you're welcome to still add them, but just once they've accepted it, make sure it's the right person. Or you can not add them yourself and you can reach out to us and say, this is the person, this is their date of birth, this is the information that I know of them, please add them, and we can do it for you. And then once you click submit, they will show up under my sent invitations here, and you'll be able to see like, oh, I've invited all of these people for me to have access to. If you're looking at it and you're like, oh, this is the wrong person, you can cancel the invitation and they won't, you don't have to do it anymore. If you invite someone and then you go back and look a couple days later and it's still showing as pending, you can reach out to us and say, hey, I invited this person. I don't think they know of the invite. Can you add them for me? We'll take care of it for you. Or you could call them or tell them at practice and say, hey, I've asked for permission to have access to your profile. Can you log in and approve that for me? Or if you're having a registration meeting and everybody's there, you can say, hey, I just sent you an invite. Can you log in real quick and approve it for me? It depends on the timing of it all. Sometimes it can happen quick. Sometimes it'll take a couple days. Either way, if you need to reach out to us, we'll help. Eventually, there will be an option for people to invite you to have access to them. So a coach, a chaperone, an athlete. And that is where the my invitations will be, is if someone invites you. I don't think that's live yet, so you don't need to worry about this icon quite yet. So that's how you check your participants' clearances. Any questions on that?
So, like, if I was coaching football and let's say Ryan wanted to do bowling, if Ruth wanted to add Ryan, he's only 11 and he uses I use my email for him. she wouldn't be able to find him?
So if you, if,
I do
if she
all
were
this
to search just Ryan,
Yeah,
if she were to just search Ryan, what's the last name?
Von Darby.
Oh, gosh, sorry. It's at the end of the day, sorry.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Let me see, let me search the last name. So it looks like your email address is with this missed 13 and his is healthy me and you.
Correct.
So if she
But
had, if she had that email address, she could search that email address, but if she just
Okay.
searched his name, then that would work too.
Okay. That's
Now,
what I was
if,
a little,
if
I was a
you
little
set it up,
confused on.
if you set it up where this healthy me and you was not his login, or he didn't have his own login, and you were the only one to log in and manage his stuff, and you received email at your Yahoo account, and like the Gmail account just wasn't even there, she'd still be able to find, someone else would still be able to find him if they searched by name, but if they searched by email address right now, it would only show you.
Okay.
In the future, I pointed this out actually when this launched a few weeks ago. They are working on making that available. That if an athlete is sharing an email address with their parent or guardian or whoever else, it will still show up as well. It's just
That's why I'm like, good thing I have 2 emails. This makes it so much easier. Ryan, you're going to use this one, and I'm going to use this one.
And honestly, I don't, if that is easier for you, that's totally fine, but we could make it where you don't ever, like, technically, you don't ever have to log in for Ryan. You could just log in as yourself and manage Ryan through your own thing. But if you want to connect on that whole topic later, we
It's
can
just easier for me and my ADHD brain
have them
to keep
separate.
the 2 separate.
Okay, that's cool. But eventually it will show up if they search by email address. But right now, if it's searched by email address, you'll only see who has claimed that or who actually owns that email address. But searching by name should work just fine.
Sweet.
And if you ever come in across something and you're like, hey, I'm trying to find this person and I can't find it, reach out to us, because I can't tell you how many times we have different spellings of names, or like your Jen, you could be Jen, Jennifer, Genevieve. Like sometimes you just don't get the right
spellings.
yeah. Or sometimes, like we get someone who actually does have a hyphenated name, but for some reason they've only given one of those names to their coach. And so like their profile is their hyphenated name, but the coach is like, hey, can you look up Sarah Hall? Like, well, we have a Sarah Smith Hall. Could that be the right, so if you can't find someone and they say they have a profile, reach out, we'll find them.
Sweet.
Okay. So now we're going to go into my teams. And this is how you're going to build your roster. So when you're in my teams, you can sort by group name. So it'll go in order of like your main parent program, your main overarching, and then it'll show your individual sports. You will click into your individual sport, and it does take a few seconds.
Now, is every year the individual sport just going to build off of the previous?
So right now, yes, but I don't know if that's how it's going to be, because we use GMS for our event build stuff, and there is going to be a GMS online feature that gets integrated into this portal. And once we start using that, we may change the way that you guys use your teams. Maybe we'll have it be just a running list every year and you can just leave it and then change it. Maybe you'll create a new one every season and you can have it be fresh. I don't know. It's a really good question for another season. But for right now, it's a historical.
I'm gonna run with it.
Yeah. Right now, this is whoever you said was participating last year. And so again, you can sort by name. And there was a point where there were not pages. It was just scroll. Now there's pages, so you can see 10 names at a time. but you can also search for specific names as well. You don't have to scroll and find them. You can search for a specific name and see if they're in there. But you can sort by name, back and forth by first name. You can sort by role. So, like for you, I don't know how many. Did you have any other names on your intent to participate? Or
Nope.
is it just you? Then you should only be seeing you as admin. And then you'll see athletes, and then you'll like as you go through, you'll see coaches and chaperones and unified partners, and then you might see some people as no role. That's just a bug. Just let us know who they are, what their roles are supposed to be. We'll fix it. If you don't see someone in this list and you go down, scroll down and click add a new participant, when you click here, all of your participant list will be here. Everyone on your participants list, and you can click them and you can select their role. And if you select their role, it'll show coach, chaperone, whatever. It should show correctly. If you do that and it doesn't show up correctly, let us know. For role status, you can sort active to pending or NA. And so you're like, oh, I know these people, they need to finish their checklist. For health history, oh, there's some expiration dates up in there. That's cool. You can sort. Now it's working. Okay. So you get for expiration date, like all of these people are expiring in 2027. Those people are probably on the list that need to renew. But let's just say you're like, okay, cool, they're clear. I don't need to worry about them. You can scroll or you can click next. Or I guess if I go this way, those are people who are not athletes. So they wouldn't have an expiration date. Here it is. You'll see these athletes. It actually says how many days until they expire. So you can say, oh, great, I know that they're going to be expiring soon. It just so happens that where we're at in our dates, like these people all need to expire before the end of the season. This person doesn't because they expire after the season's over. So you wouldn't need to reach out to them. So for this case, for bowling, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 athletes that need to renew their health history to be able to participate.
Only 7.
Only 7. Hey, some people have like 50, so 7 is a pretty good number. It just so happens that because we're in 25 now, like our participation started to pick up again in 2022, which means people were renewing in 2022, which means this is the year that their stuff's expiring. So like we're kind of dancing with that line of like, and the health histories have to be renewed every year now instead of every 3 years, and they don't need that medical signature either. If you go to renew and nothing has changed, like if it for like next year, if you're going to renew Ryan's and nothing has changed at all the answers from this year are going to be there, and you can literally scroll down and click submit. Like you don't have to click through the questions, you don't have to re-answer anything. It's only if things have changed that you'd have to change it. But if everything stays the same, it's just confirming to us, hey, everything's still the same. They've confirmed it. So
now, what I do is anytime his medical stuff changes, I update his medical stuff.
That's what we want to happen. That's what we want. Because then we know we have the most updated stuff. But let's say you look at this and you're like, oh, this person isn't participating this year or this season. You come over here, you click this, you click remove, and it'll remove them. They're not on your roster anymore.
But they stay on the main one?
They will stay in your participants list, and they'll stay in any other team that they're in. So if they're in your main Moses Lake program one, they'll still be there.
Okay, just not that group.
Correct, not the specific sport. If someone moves
so
and isn't participating,
scratch.
Correct, exactly. And yeah, like if someone moves and isn't participating with you anymore, you could remove them from your overarching one And then like, if you really wanted to go into all the other teams, you could do that too. But if you're just focusing on like one season, one sport at a time, yeah, that's the only one that it's affecting. And in all actuality, when you remove somebody from this team, they technically stay in the team that we can see. They're just inactive. So if you're like, hey, I removed like 5 people from my bowling team, but I can't remember who they were, and I want to add them back, we could look on our end and find them and add them back for you if you just forgot who you removed. So they're still technically there. They're just hidden, so to speak.
Cool.
So yeah, if you're looking at this and you're looking at your coach and you see that they're active, that's all you need. They're active. Say, hey, make sure your expiration dates are good. For unified partners, they're active. You can go back to your participants list and check their checklist and see when they expire. And for the athletes, apparently you can see their expiration date now. Now, if you don't see their expiration date, if it says approved, but it says NA, you can go to their checklist from your participants list and see their expiration date. There's just a couple more steps to check that. Now,
Yeah, see,
you
that's
have
what I was doing. Some of them had the expiration dates and some of them had NA. It was a mix.
it's just so fun. So just adds that couple extra steps, and eventually it will be fixed so you can see the expiration dates correctly. But you are more than welcome also, if you're looking at it and you're like, this just looks weird, just send it to us with the people and we'll see what we can figure out. And there may be something weird that we need to clean up. But you have 8 pages of people in your bowling. So that means you have about 80 people in here. And that's a lot. And so you're like, oh, I don't want to keep clicking next. I want to just look at everybody at once. So you click this export to Excel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to open up into this lovely Excel sheet. And I know it's a little intimidating, especially for these people who have a ton of roles up here. But if you click this little arrow up here, and select the whole sheet, and then you hover over one of the columns, so it looks like that little cross, and you double click, it'll make every column expand so you can see everything in it. And then if you know how to use an Excel sheet and how to sort and filter, rock on. But if you don't, just send it to us and we'll organize it for you. But what I would probably do is I'd come up to data and I would go to sort, and I would probably sort by coaches. There's been a couple of feedback. This was the hardest part to figure out how to train people on, because everybody does things differently. Everybody wants to see different stuff. And so I personally would sort by role, and then I would sort by expiration date.
That's exactly what I would do.
And then it'll show me the admin first, and then the athletes, and then the coaches, the chaperones, and the unified partners. And again, you can't see expiration dates for unified partners, but it still gives you a list. So you could have a list to then go look up in your participants list. And for the athletes, it starts from soonest date and it goes all the way down to the farthest date. And so again, you could look at it and say, these people I need to reach out to. And right now, I mean, anybody who's expiring in 2027 probably needs to renew. So you could, just on the off chance, because you don't have enough stuff to do, scroll down and find more people to reach out to and say, hey, go renew these. But I think a lot of people, and you can see their role status here, that they're active. You can see their role and status here as well. There's a lot of athletes who also, I guess, want to be volunteers. I think we've got a lot of go-getter athletes that apply for extra roles. But typically you're just going to see one role. If you happen to see someone who shows 2 athlete roles, whether they're both active or one's pending or something like that, reach out to us and let us know, because that's just something that we have to quickly clean up. It'll be quick, easy, and it'll be fine. When you get down to the volunteers, though, you may see someone who has, like, if you click on this column right here, the cell, you can see all of the roles that they've applied for up here. And that could be a little intimidating because some of them could have a lot. So like, if that's too much, then don't even worry about this column right here. Like, just don't even worry about it. You can go into your participants list and click this and see all of those roles in a nice format. So it just kind of depends on how you want to look at it. And not everybody has two screens. Not everybody is really comfortable having something look like this. But if you could set it up like this, where you got your list over here and your participants right here, you could technically, you know, look people up and all of that. We are happy to take this list and make it a printable format for you, so you can print it out and just be able to write on it. We can make a tab for athletes, unified partners, volunteers, whatever you want. If you've got something specific, let us know what you want and we'll do it. Otherwise, we will make a very nice format and also give you a printable version so you can print it out and write on it. So basically, that's what you're going to do. You're going to build your team, remove names, add names. Reach out to us if you want us to add people to your participants, or use that lookup tool. And then you're going to look at people's clearances and reach out to them if you know they need to renew, or tell them, hey, I can't see when things expire. Please confirm that they expire after November 9th. And then that's it. At some point, likely will be August 15th. We're going to lock this roster so you can't add or remove anybody else. And then that'll be kind of your final roster. But yeah.
Yes. Some athletes get upset when it's locked, and I'm like, I'm sorry, it's the rules.
Yeah. We want to get to the point where programs feel more empowered to tell people no later in the season. Hey, we've already passed our registration date. We'd love for you to participate. Unfortunately, we're too late in the season. But we also, most importantly, and this is what I've been trying to get everybody to do since I started, is I want all of our coaches and coordinators to enjoy their life during the season, instead of chasing down forms the entire time. I've been dealing with credentials and forms since I started, and there's always programs and people who don't have their stuff done, and those coordinators and coaches are at their wits' end trying to get people to get their stuff turned in, and that's stressful. And if you guys can get them done earlier in the season, if you can get them done earlier in the season, then you don't have to worry about it. You can just breathe a sigh of relief and enjoy your practices up until competition. So we're striving for that. There will come a point where your event registration will be done based on this team. So you'll populate this team, get it where you want it, and then you'll sign them up for an event through the portal. And if they're not clear, they won't be able to go into the event. And so, like, we're an inchworm right now. We're inching towards full functionality in the portal, and this is just the very beginning of it. Is let's get comfortable with having everybody clear early. Let's get comfortable with managing our roster through my teams, and then every season, hopefully, there'll be new ways to make it easier. And at some point, there won't even be an Excel roster for you to submit scores and stuff. That'll all be done through this as well. I don't know if that's going to happen. I know it's not going to happen this year. It may happen next year, but I don't know when. That's still being planned. But every season, we're just getting closer and closer to being fully in this portal, which I'm hoping will make everybody's life a lot easier. So
that is a beautiful vision.
That's what I keep remembering every day. So yeah, that's the gist of it. That is what the guide shows, and that's what you'll do.
I love it.
Wonderful. Okay. I'm going to stop recording. I think this might be a winner recording. This might be a good one to send out to people.